Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, for that wonderful introduction. As my fellow Toastmasters and guests, as you can see, I am a tax professional at H&R Block, and I'm here to talk to you about some things that we hope not to become a bellwether, and that is tax identity theft. And I got some flyers I would like to pass out so you can give you some more information. But you might be saying, what is tax identity theft? And what that means to you. How does that touch you? Rather. Well, tax identity theft is when someone uses your name, social security number, and date of birth to file a fraudulent tax return. And the tax identity thieves will get their refund, and you won't know about it until you actually file your taxes. What happened is when you electronically file your tax return, you will get a reject letter from the IRS or a reject notice from the IRS saying that your tax return has already been used. Your social security number has already been used to file a tax return. What that means for you is that you will have to, one, file a police report and file a paper return. And that will lead up to 180 days for you to get your refund. Now, who wants to wait 180 days to get that refund? And CBS 60 Minutes did a special about tax identity theft, where this is already an epidemic in Florida and the southwest, southeastern United States. That's what I'm saying, according to the map, southeastern United States. It's already an epidemic. And doing that, they reported on what is tax identity theft. They reported, interviewed some victims who happened to be unfortunate victims of tax identity theft, and we also interviewed some tax identity thieves. And what's interesting to me is we all are law-abiding citizens, so we all know the mind of the thief. But this 60-minute piece interviewed some of these tax identity thieves, and what they were saying is that it was easy for them. All they needed, was the social security number, your name, and date of birth, and they would have to file the fraudulent tax returns. If they get the money, woohoo, they got free money. They got the return rejected, so what? They throw it away and nothing to hear about. And some of those tax identity thieves were former tax professionals like I myself. It's easy to get this number. So tax identity theft, as you can see by the handout, is a problem, and it's a growing problem. And H&R Block has a solution. It's called Tax Identity Shield. And H&R Block's product, Tax Identity Shield, does two things. One is preventive, and it also has restoration services. And I'm going to go into detail about each one of them. Some of the preventive services, one, is set you up with the IP pin from the IRS. Now, if you are already a victim of the tax identity theft, the IRS will set you up a IP pin where when you file your taxes, not only do you have your information, you also have that PIN number from the IRS in order to file your tax return. But with H&R Block Tax Identity Shield, you don't have to wait until you become a victim to get the IP PIN. H&R Block Tax Identity Shield already set you up one beforehand. So when you file your taxes, you have to file with your information and that IP PIN from the IRS. And the Tax Identity Shield also provides a ID indicator, which look at risk factors that you may have so you can take action against those risk factors in order to prevent yourself becoming a victim of identity theft. And we also partner with Equifax to provide you a credit score and a credit report. And also, at the end of the year, H&R Block does a risk assessment. This is, at the end of the year, you get a report of all where you might be vulnerable to becoming accessible to identity theft. And this report is sent out sometime in late December or early January. So you have that to warn you, where you might be indicated. And two, it has restoration services. If you become a victim of identity theft, do you know what to do? Do you know what to do? Our restoration service provide a central point of contact to help you walk through the steps to restoring your identity and finally completing your tax return. One of the things that you have to do is file a paper return. You cannot electronically file because the electronic filing has already rejected. So you have to file a paper return. Not only that, you also have to file a police report. Then you also have to get in contact with a tax professional like myself in order to file a Form 14339. And our central point of contact helps you walk through those steps to make it seamlessly for you. And we also contact our partner again with Equifax to see if there's any other fraudulent activity that's been involved in your credit. Now, you may say, what all this gonna cost? It's gonna cost a lot of money, right? No. It only costs $30 a year. Some other tax identity guard or LifeLock, some of their services cost $30 a month. This only costs $30 a year. And if you bundle it with our other products like Peace of Mind, you can get it even less. I already talked about Peace of Mind in the previous year presentation, so I may do it again, but if you bundle it with a Peace of Mind product, you can get it less. And also, if you want to add your spouse and your dependents, you can for $15 each, which is still pretty reasonable. And with any new product, there are always some questions and some objections. And one of the some of the few questions we have is that I already have LifeLock. I already have some other credit monitoring services. Those services only provide you restoration services that I have discussed. It doesn't provide any preventive. Matter of fact, the only way you can know or anyone knows they're a victim of identity theft is when they file electronically and get a reject letter from the IRS saying their tax return. That's the only way anybody can know that they are a victim of identity theft. So those other services, yeah, they might provide you with restoration services, but they don't provide you with any preventive services. And well, you might also, some of the questions that I don't need tax identity shield because I usually only get a small refund or I usually owe, so nobody wants to steal my identity. Well, again, like I said, all they need is your social security number and your name, and social security number, your name, and your date of birth to file a fraudulent tax return. The rest, they make up. So it can happen to anyone, even though you get a small refund or even owe in a year. When you file your tax return legitimately, they still can get their fraudulent $1,000, $2,000 refund by making the rest up. And you're still stuck filing a paper return and waiting 180 days for your refund. And well, you might say some people who are already a victim of identity theft have already had that IP PIN, so I don't need that. Well, we provide other preventive services with our tax identity shield. So with the other risk monitoring and the risk assessments, add another layer of protection for you becoming another victim. So even though you already have an IP PIN from the IRS, you still get the other preventive services and restoration service. Even so happen if you become a victim again. And we also, the tax identity theft, well, it only works, we hear that it's only works for if you file a block or you use one of the block services. Yes, we can monitor your information on our platforms, whether it's online or through our software or one of the retail offices where I work. But if you file your tax return or the tax identity thieves file your tax return with some other software or some other service, we still provide you with the restoration services that comes with tax identity shield. So I explained to you that tax identity theft is a problem, it's a growing problem, and H&R Block Tax Identity Shield is the solution. And it's affordable, $30 a year, and $15 for each spouse or dependent you want to add. And again, if you use H&R Block Tax Identity Shield, you can stop tax identity theft and becoming a bellwether for the country. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.